Hey guys, today I'm going to take you through a workout using chains. Now, most people, when they think about chains for working out, they think of like putting accommodating resistance chains on bench press or squat or something. So when you're coming up on your squat, that chain is connected to the barbell and is lifting up as you are squatting, which is a great use for chains, but they're quite versatile. You can use them many different ways. And just so you guys get this, like your body does not differentiate between dumbbells, kettlebells, chains, sandbags, band resistance, whatever. I mean, it all can affect you slightly differently, but the only thing your body really knows is resistance. So if you have heavier resistance, you're going to get stronger. It doesn't matter where that resistance is coming from. So the cool thing about chains, they're very versatile. You can use them for a lot of different things. You can drape them over your shoulders. You can connect them over your shoulders in like an X pattern around your torso. You can put them over your back while you're doing push-ups or anything like that. You can put them on your feet to do like hip flexor drills or abdominal stuff. There's many different uses for them. So I'm going to do this workout today. I got a kind of like a light tempo workout plan, not going too heavy, about 70% of my max on lifts. So I'm going to do most of the lifts with chains just to give you guys a good idea of how versatile these chains really are. So let's look at the chains right now. So I got a set of the heaviest chains here. These are from Titan Fitness. I'll go over these in a second. So these are the actual resistance here. These are like 33 pounds each, I think. I'll double check that. I got a couple carabiners so that I can click them together, or I can put them on these handles over here. So the ones that they come with are really crappy and they break really easily. So I upgraded to these Petzl Williams ones. These things hold up really well. They're kind of expensive. They're like 15 bucks each, but you can get cheaper ones definitely. But I don't regret buying those. Those are super nice. And then I made these homemade handles here. So these are from Escape Climbing. It's just like a wooden handle for climbing. It came with one of these eyelet screws in here, and they're actually meant to sit like this, like almost like a clock thing to do pull-ups and grip training on. I bought another eyelet screw at the hardware store and put it on the other side, and then just like a decently heavy rope I put through there, tied a knot on both ends. And now it's like a universal handle. It's just kind of a thick one. I have smaller ones too. Same thing, Escape Climbing ones. You can also just buy like a universal handle for tubing or resistance bands or whatever. That would work for this too, definitely. But these things are really awesome. The wood, you get a good grip on it. Even if your hands are sweaty, you get a really good grip on that. So first up is presses. To avoid the chains hitting the floor, I'm going to loop my carabiner through here and then hook them up to one of these higher chains here. All right, next up is weighted jumps. So get a towel around my neck just so it doesn't dig in as bad. Wear it around my shoulders. Grab the loose ends. Fingers through the loose ends. Fingers through here. Weighted jumps. All right, next up is pull-ups. I just got these cinched together with the carabiner just above my waist. So next up is pistols and floating lunges. So I'm going to put the chains over my working leg side. So I'm going to do right leg first. I'll put the chain over my right shoulder and under. I'm not going to clip them together at the ends. I'm going to choke up on it a little bit. Clip it a couple up on each side. And then I'm going to rotate this loose end up towards my shoulder so it's not hanging by my hips so I can do the pistols easier. Five pistols, 5 floating lunges. All right, next we got step ups. So I'm gonna put one of these over my left shoulder, flip it in, a few notches up. The other one over my right shoulder. Same thing, flip that one in, a few notches up. I'm gonna do 6 straight, 6 lateral. Next up is push-ups. So with this one, I don't want too much. I'm gonna go for my right and left shoulder, but I don't want too much here. I want most of it to be in the back. And you get into your push-up position. There you go. Next up, hamstring curls. So I'm going to put the chains over my waist here and use my hands to keep them in place when I'm hip thrusting. And I got a little tumble track slider here on the carpet. You can use just a furniture slider or even like a paper plate if you don't have one of these. So I'm going to hold the weights here. I'm going to pull back as hard as I can, lift up, lower. When you're pushing down into the ground, or when you're pulling back, you want to push down into the ground. So be pressing your heel into the ground hard, contracting that hamstring, extend the hip, lower down slow. All right, guys. Next up is inverted rows. So with this one, I like to have it on one end and then about as tight as you can get it around one shoulder and around the other. I like to alternate between sets too. So if I'm going to do one set this way, I'll do my next set on my right shoulder and then my next set back to my left. I'm going to leave this one long because this has the tendency to roll over to each side. So if I leave it long, I can put it in between my legs and it'll stay in place. Obviously, you got to make sure you're not pinching your junk if you're a guy. So just make sure you got it sitting good and out of the way. So and make sure it's sitting good in between my legs. And there it is. It even works good if you have your legs close together so you can kind of pinch it and keep that in between your legs so it doesn't fall over to the side and the chains don't rotate and fall off you. Next up, we're going to do some glute stuff. Guys too. Guys always are guilty for skipping the glute stuff. Glutes are one of the most important muscles in your body. You need to train them regularly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two ends, clip them together, drape it over, Then I'm gonna take the other carabiner, flip it up a little bit higher on there, on that one, so it's just snug along my leg here. I'm gonna use the stability ball. You don't have to use the stability ball, you can do it on the ground, but the stability ball gives you a little bit more stability and makes you kind of focus more on the muscle instead of keeping your balance. So I like doing on a stability ball, also increases the range of motion a little bit. So 10, 10, 10. We're gonna do 10 abductions. From there, you come on the wall like this, and we're gonna do external rotation. Then last, we're going to do extensions. And there we have the 3 different glute movements, hitting the glutes from 3 different angles: abduction, external rotation, and extension. Next up, I'm going to show you one more one for the glutes. This will be for like a glute bridge. And I'm going to take these in, double the chains over, a little bit overflow on each side, make sure they're even so they don't slide off. Same thing with the other one. Now, if I were to do a single leg glute bridge, this is only 62 or 63 pounds, so it take me many reps to get fatigued. And I can do single leg like this, but again with that one you don't get a super good contraction, so you don't have good balance. So the best thing I found is to put one foot out straight, kind of like a kickstand, so that you're not using it much at all for the hip extension, but you're using it to keep your balance so you can get better mind-muscle connection in this glute. You're not working, struggling on your balance so much. So take this. And 20 reps has it pumped up pretty good. If I were to do both legs, I'd probably have to go like 40 or 50 reps to get that same effect. All right, next up is stability ball sit-ups. I've just got the chain up around my neck. I've kind of doubled it up here. I'm holding on to the end chain and one that's around like shoulder height here. Holding onto it tight, and then I'm kind of throwing this slack chain here up towards my chest. So I'm gonna come all the way down, lean over the ball, let my abs stretch out here, and then sit up. All right, next up, this one's good for overhead stability and the obliques. So I'm gonna take both chains, double them up on the carabiners, and then put them onto my handle here. Press this handle overhead, I'm gonna point my left foot, this is my right arm now, I'm gonna point my left foot totally straight out to the side, my right foot like 45 degrees this way. So one's going totally this way, one's about 45 that way. I'm gonna reach, do a windmill, come back up. Keeping the spine neutral, the movement is happening at the hips. All right, here's one more for the obliques. If you have a glute ham developer, you can do this. The best way I found to hook it up is to just hook it over the shoulder, leave this little loose end here, and then you'll grab this while you're doing the oblique side crunches. So come up into the glute ham developer, put your feet in there, sideways, scoot a hip onto one side. Then I'm going to hold this in my hands here. All right, next up, single leg calf raises. You don't really have to clip it on this time, just wear it over your neck. All right, next up is back extensions. You can do these on a 45-degree back extension machine if you have one. I don't have one, so I'm going to do them on the glute ham developer. You can do them without the stability ball, but the stability ball kind of props you up a little bit more. So I like to use that. So you can put the stability ball in between yourself and the pads. Chains over them, and I'm going to do just a normal back extension. Next up is a Turkish Getups. So I have them set. I have the chains doubled up, the two loose ends through the carabiner and the carabiner through the handle on both sets of chains. So 62, 63 pounds. And if you've never seen a Turkish Getup before, looks like this. I'm going to get in place, lying on my back, my arm pressed up here, so this is my right arm. My right leg is going to bend this way, and I'm going to roll and punch sideways and up, rolling onto my side a little bit and onto this arm. Now I'm supporting the entire chains along my back. I'm going to bring this leg through, stand up onto this knee, bring this leg in closer, and basically just do like a standing lunge. Up, and then reverse it. Keeping the arm locked. So reverse lunge, bring this leg out a little bit, turn this leg in slightly, come down, grab the ground with this hand, then I'm gonna thread this leg through, come back onto the elbow, and all the way back down. Chains are under my back right now, so I'm gonna scoot over a little bit just to get them out from under my back. Again, straight elbow, right arm, bring the right leg back, and you want to bring it straight here. You want to bring it out to the side a little bit so you can internally rotate and push off of it while punching up and coming onto this arm. So again, punch up onto this arm, just if you need to, bring this knee back, up, rotate that knee straight, bring this one in closer, stand up into a lunge, reverse, one more time, in real time, back, punch up, reverse. Let's go. Really like this one. I learned how to do Turkish Getups at a kettlebell course, and doing them with kettlebells is great, but I like this even more because those chains they're so long and they kind of twist back or swing back and forth while you're doing this. So your elbow or your shoulder has to work overtime because those chains are trying to swing every which way while you're moving. So you're getting more stability and more strength in that shoulder while you're doing this exercise. All right, next up is curls. So I have a rope. I think I got this from Knot and Rope Supply Company, they're called. They got exercise equipment and like nautical equipment for boats and stuff. It was pretty cheap. You could also use like a tricep rope or any other kind of rope you have. But I doubled these up on the carabiner. I'm gonna lay them right in the middle across the rope. Same thing with the other one. And I'm going to squat down, grab it, pick everything up, and then do hammer curls with the rope. All right, so next up is lateral lunges. Put these on, the normal X over the shoulder. So there's a couple ways you can do these. You can do just the normal lateral lunge, step out wide to the side, step into that lunge, and just continually do a set here, and then you can do a set over on the other side. Or make it more challenging by stepping into it. So I left these ends a little long here. I'm just gonna hold on to these. So you can do step in, slow, kick back. Next up is loaded hip flexion. So hip flexors don't get trained very often. A lot of people think they have tight hip flexors from sitting too often. And everyone will tell you, oh, you need to stretch your hip flexors and strengthen your glutes and hamstrings. And for some people this may be true, but your hip flexors aren't tight because they're strong usually. They're tight because they're in a shortened position while you're sitting for too long. So even though you do want to stretch them, you do also want to strengthen them. Hip flexors are great for sprinting speed, getting that quick, high knees so you can get a good, powerful hip extension. And I rarely see anyone ever training hip flexion. So the reason I like this one so much is because it's so adjustable. If you want to do, like, you can put the entire chain over your foot like this, so you're lifting the entire thing, or you can hook, so I got the end here, and I'm going to hook my carabiner in. I'm going to hook it about 6 or 7 chains down. Actually, I might need to do a little bit more. I don't think my foot will fit through there. All right. So I'm going to put my shirt folded up over my bare foot because the chains can pinch your skin. So I'm going to have my shirt protecting my skin there. Get it adjusted good so that the shirt is covering my entire foot. There we go. So I like to do this too by like a pull-up bar or something, or even by a wall or a doorway, so you can hold something if you need to. So I got it looped over my foot here, and I come into full knee flexion, or full hip flexion, I'm sorry, full hip flexion. So right here, I'm only lifting about half the chain, and every time I go up, I'm lifting a little bit more of that chain. Quite challenging. You need to make it harder. You can make it so you're lifting more chain from the start, or I can flip this plyo box up to the next height, and then I'm automatically lifting more chain because I'm higher off the ground. The chain has less distance to travel. I think I'm saying that right. Less of the chain is on the ground when I'm starting, that's what I'm trying to say. So if I wanted to make it easier, I could flip this plyo box this way, have it shorter, so I'm lifting less of that chain off the ground. And then, like I said, you can double up the chain, hang it over your foot, so you're lifting more of the chain right away. So that's a great one for the hip flexors. Easily adjustable in different ways to accommodate your strength levels. All right, so let's talk about cost real quick. This is from today. These prices may change as this video gets uploaded, and from day to day. But the 62-pound set of chains is 115 bucks right now on Amazon. These are Titan Fitness chains, so to look up. Search Titan Fitness chains. The biggest thing is that they have free shipping on these. If you order from other sites, the chains might be a little cheaper, but the shipping will destroy you. It's so expensive because they're heavy. So free shipping is the key here. A 42-pound set will run you 80 bucks, also with free shipping. Carabiners, I suggest these Petzl Williams ones. They're big enough to fit 2 or even 3 ends of chains in here. They can screw like this, locked, unscrew. They're sturdy, like chains pounding against them. They haven't broke. The ones that come with these chains are absolute crap and broke right away. Like this little locking mechanism here on them broke, and they're worthless. So I definitely recommend upgrading. You may be able to get away with some cheaper ones, but these are the only ones I've experienced with, and I recommend them because they're big and they're sturdy. Petzl, P-E-T-Z-L, William Carabiner. $16 for 2. Don't cheap out on this and try to save a couple bucks and regret it later because they break. And then handles, I made my homemade handles for about 25 bucks. You can get some good ones, just like handles for general fitness stuff that you can hook onto bands or whatever on Amazon for 15 bucks with free shipping. So just to kind of compare this, I got a 50-pound weight vest on Amazon and it was 110 bucks. And like all of this here together would run you to 230, 245, 250, maybe 250 bucks. It's extremely versatile. You can do tons of different stuff with it. You know, the weight vest is pretty versatile, but it's a pain to take the weights out of it. So I always keep it at 50 pounds, and at 50 pounds it's pretty heavy. I mean, I'll do like some body weight movements with it on, but I'm really only using it for 4 or 5 different things at the very most. And usually it's for like 2 or 3 different things. So these you can do probably hundreds of different movements with your imagination. If you're not that strong yet, get the 42-pound set for 80 bucks and get the carabiners and handles. And then once you improve, you can get the 62-pound set. If you're already strong, you can get the 62-pound set, or you can get both of them to have an insane amount of variability. Couple more last notes on this. The chains can pinch your skin, so I recommend wearing a shirt. I'm just wearing this flimsy Hanes t-shirt here, and it feels fine. I never got pinched from it. A thicker shirt probably wouldn't hurt, but this one works just fine.
Watch your fingers. I smashed my finger in between the chains a little bit here. That's the first time I've done it, and I've used them for probably 40 or 50 workouts since I got them. So just be careful. Don't smash your fingers in between them. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope I kind of open your eyes to some new possibilities and new ways of training. One last thing, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. It's really hard to stick out on YouTube with so much fitness stuff on there. So hopefully those likes and subscriptions can help this channel grow. And I plan on making a lot more videos of basement workouts, outdoor workouts, and other things to help you get in shape. Practical stuff that you don't need a ton of equipment for, and easy to use movements that anyone can implement. Thanks for watching.